In another note you have here, you say you love talking about dating and relationships because I feel like I have a lot of insight plus some taboo opinions on monogamy and domestic partnership.
Get right in here.
You have a BS in psychology and communication. I feel like it has opened my mind to many forms of non-traditional relationships. I don't necessarily have. Oh wait, I don't know.
Yeah, like I
missed that part.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have.
I'm trying
Does
to
a
remember how I
BS
said
stand
it.
for bullshit?
Bachelor of Science.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a degree.
So these two college disciplines, psychology and communication, opened your eyes to non-traditional relationships?
That like just the classes that I took, like communication a lot, and then like I took like a human sexuality course, and like I like kind of just dove into like how people interact with each other. Okay. Ultimately.
But they were like pushing non-traditional relationships, or like
no,
just kind
like
of...
I'm like thinking the human sexuality course in particular, it was just educational of like how many different types of sexualities and partnerships may exist, and what the science is behind some of them, and things like that.
So what are your taboo opinions on monogamy and domestic partnership?
I don't necessarily think monogamy is a must. I don't think it's natural. I don't think it's inherent. I very much separate sex from partnership, relationship. So I don't think that cheating is a be-all, end-all. I think like in society there's a lot of weight on infidelity, and I think that, you know, of course, like this, I feel like it is taboo. I did have a sugar daddy one time that was like, "You're so fascinating, like you're a gorgeous woman that thinks like a man," because I was just like, no, I think it's unrealistic to think that your partner is never ever going to cheat on you because they said so, because everybody cheats. It's like I think a large majority of people cheat.
Well, you're right, because you wrote, I think you wrote here, my biggest hot take, cheating is inevitable and unavoidable 90% of the time, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Hot take. There it is.
I mean, I disagree. I think...
Think the
I mean, maybe
percentage
it's
is
the
lower?
men that you're chasing after that are D1 athletes, what was it?
You make a really good point.
Sugar daddies, trappers, etc. Perhaps it's the men that you're pursuing that are more prone to cheating. But I think a lot of women are chasing after relationships with men that are frankly out of your league. Not you specifically, but kind of going back to that thing, a lot of women are chasing after the top tier of men. Those men have a sexual abundance. They have an abundance of options, romantically, sexually, etc. They have no incentive to really commit to one woman. So those are the men who like are gonna just sleep with a bunch of chicks, and they're not. They're gonna cheat on you. They're not gonna commit to you.
Relationship.
What's that?
Then why are they agreeing to a monogamous relationship?
Because the guy wants to know that that child is his and not somebody else's.
So like you think they're just demanding monogamy from the woman, right? While not being monogamous themselves.
So I mean, there are like, if you actually look at it, like a lot of really successful guys will be married quite young, and then they would have their success a lot later in life. So if you look at the statistics, a lot of the time it's not really borne out by the statistics. But then again, you don't really know what they do on the side. But if you get guys who are young and successful, I mean, like in their 30s, a lot of the time they would, you know, be rubbing shoulders with certain crowds, and they would have sort of clawed their way to the top early, and then they wouldn't really be wanting to settle down. But
yeah.
A lot of guys who become very wealthy are already married, already have kids, and
right.
So your taboo opinion was that you don't think monogamy is the natural order of things.
Yeah, more or less. I think that sex can be separate from like.
Sex
if your
can
partner
be detached
cheats,
from what?
that doesn't mean they hate you. That doesn't mean that they're bad to you. That doesn't mean that you have a terrible relationship and shouldn't be together. That's my hot take. Like,
oh,
I feel
right, because I see what you. Yeah, you also wrote, staying with someone who has cheated does not make you weak. It does not mean your relationship is trash. I have some notes. I have some thoughts on that. But who here agrees with her? Does anybody agree with?
I've got a bit of a nuanced opinion on it, but you can go first.
Yeah, I'll go first.
I agree. I think they're. Yeah, I don't know if you just want to hand or
more of just a yes or no. If you kind of agree that.
I agree.
Okay. My take is that. So you said that it does not mean your relationship is trash. Your relationship may not necessarily be trash, but I would argue your partner is if they cheat on you. Now, maybe, I don't know if women have a different view on this than me. My advice to men, if your girl cheats on you, that's a wrap. The relationship is over. You're a dead man walking. If you have any dignity, you walk and you never look back. So So maybe that applies to you, but I certainly wouldn't advise men to ever stay with a girl who cheats on them. It's over. It's done.
And I actually do.
Mostly
I like, as a woman, I feel like it's not that hard not to cheat. But I think that men cheat far more often because they
Disagree.
feel a need to.
They don't.
Disagree.
Okay.
Women have more options to cheat. Women have more ability to cheat.
I guess physically women cheat more, but men emotionally.
They can't hide it.
or by watching.
Women can't
Right.
hide it. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
But also,
fair.
I think what you're saying is true in the sense of, like, if you look at it biologically and like anthropologically,
Right.
it's proven that, like, you know, human beings aren't necessarily meant to be monogamous. But if you look at the most healthy societies, they're all nuclear family societies. And then as soon as the nuclear family starts to deteriorate, society starts to deteriorate. So if we had it our way, we could all be running around and being non-monogamous in these little, you know, beach in Thailand, like little like hippy-dippy relationships.
Hippies on the beach.
But if we want to have healthy societies, it's a man and a woman in a relationship with children, raising those children in a two-parent household.
And they're not. Right, okay, yes. And you can have that.
Yeah.
I was raised in that family, and there can still be infidelity, though.
Yeah, there can be. And it's actually probably a lot more common than people think. A lot of the time when people
I
aren't, like
definitely
they
argue
fall
that,
out of love when they get a bit older, 40s and 50s and
Yeah.
everything, and I'm from an Italian background, and this is very common with Italians,
Yeah.
is that the woman has an attitude of just sort of turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
And this is it's very common, and then the guy will go out and sort of do what he needs to do, as long as he doesn't bring anything home, as long as he doesn't impregnate anybody.
Right. Tommy Shelby
Grid
rules.
One Motorsports
Yo, Grid One, thank you,
donated
man.
$100. Very funny. The girl who has
Thank you,
not
man.
had a successful relationship thinks it's normal for cheating to occur. I do not know man in my circle that would even consider maintaining a relationship with a cheater. Nothing you have said is healthy. Make better choices.
Heard.
Yeah, don't you think that there's something deeper going on if one or the other cheats? Like, isn't that
Well,
mean
that
there's
okay.
a problem?
So I like foster open communication in my relationships.
Yeah,
I
me as
say
well.
straightforward, if you cheat on me, please just tell me. Like, let me know. Like, it's a safety thing. You know, like, sexual health is so important. Like, I just want to know. And then I would love to dig deeper into why. Because if you are cheating on me because you don't respect me, because you are not attracted to me, because you know you're not happy in our relationship, that's so different than I was just attracted to that person and that had nothing to do with you. So
But why would you stay? Like, why would you continue to be with somebody who doesn't value you or want to?
Doesn't
Because
necessarily
I
mean that they
am
don't
valued.
value her.
Right.
It's just for
It
a
just
guy.
has nothing to do
like,
with me.
This is not my values personally, but a lot of the time for a guy, just having sex on the side with a girl isn't necessarily. If there's an emotional connection, and if he gives her resources and he gives her his time, and like then that's
I'm not
tends
cool
to
But
be
I
bad.
mean, he is giving her his time because he's having sex with her.
But that's where
Yeah, it could be
she
15
comes into
minutes.
play in fostering open communication. Is it, did you do it because you were just sexually attracted to that person and you were able to disconnect the emotions and you don't want to be with that person, but you were just sexually attracted to engage in a sexual act with them? Or is it because you fell out of love with me, you have no respect for me, and now you just don't want to be with me? If they say yes to that, then absolutely you're
Yeah, out the door.
But if it's you just have a sexual attraction to them and you just wanted to experience with them with no emotion attached, then that's different. It's not a disrespect to you because
Exactly.
it's not
I think it is.
Like
it wasn't
polyamory is
It
a
isn't.
religion,
It's
you know?
major disrespect
Like,
because why
polyamory
aren't
is-
you
it's
enough?
a
Why
very
do they
real
need
lifestyle.
to go and see somebody else and be with somebody else
But you've also
when
got,
you're
Right.
supposed to
But-
be that core piece of or that
and
partner?
that's the thought of monogamy is the one and only way.
But yeah, you've
Right.
also got a good point in the sense that you believe in monogamy in that sense. But I think it's just like what you said before. It's all about communication. You want to lay down those boundaries at the start, and you want to say cheating is absolutely not on. And then if a guy comes to you, it sounds like with your value structure, and he says, you know, I've got a few things happening. I'm traveling a lot, and you know, if something happens, I won't tell you about it. And you say, cool, don't tell me about it. Then
Yeah.
that's your value structure.
But if he
a lot of
doesn't-
the time when people are trying to keep families together in particular, they'll have a little handshake agreement on the
Right,
side.
like, don't
it's
ask,
better
don't
than
tell.
it's better than breaking the family up. That's what
Say,
I'm
but
like.
yeah,
Yeah.
but why is that okay?
Absolutely.
Why is that something that we just accept and move on from instead of,
Because
doses.
it's two grown adults making a mutual agreement. If that and that's the point where you pick someone who has morals and values that align with yours. So you would be with someone who doesn't view or doesn't have that thought process.
Because if
and
it
that's
happens
totally
once,
right.
well, who's to say it's not going to happen again?
Right, but there's a difference. I would say there's a difference between someone cheating because they're falling out of love, or a mutual agreement between two people that understand, like, I know that you and I have an emotional connection. We have a bigger picture in life, goals, aspirations, things that we want to achieve together, but you're able to have a sexual attraction to
That's not
somebody
cheating.
else. But that's what I'm saying. If there's a mutual agreement, it's not cheating. Like if it's talked about before, right? Like obviously we want to build a future together, but if you have a sexual attraction to someone, if you're asking for permission to go and engage
And
in
you
that
guys would
sexual
probably
activity,
be annoyed if he lied about it. You guys would be annoyed because
absolutely,
that's what
that's
pisses me
cheating.
off.
probably be
Exactly.
annoyed that he was
Being
too
shady
much
about
of a
it.
pussy to tell you as
Right.
well. So
Yeah.
you lose a bit of respect for him
Yeah,
at the same time. What
absolutely.
were you saying?
I think it's never okay to cheat, but also it's forgiveness. If you can forgive, that's saying, okay, I forgive you, and let's work hard. Let's fix what was ruined or why you went to that woman or guy. This is the main part, to forgive. If you can forgive. If you can't, then let's separate. Even
Absolutely.
though it's horrible, let's
Right.
separate.
And I think you have to
So I
establish
agree with
that.
everyone in different levels.
At the start of the relationship, you kind of have to establish those boundaries. Like
Exactly.
if you cheat on me, it's done. If I had like a long-term relationship, obviously it would go without saying. I would have to tell her though that if you cheat on me, there's just no coming back from that whatsoever. But everyone's different in that sense.
Yeah.
And it sounds like to you that would be something that you'd have to establish from the jump.
It depends on, but yeah.
I don't understand
But
why
communicate.
it almost needs to be
Communication's key.
established. I feel like it should just be a given. Don't cheat on me. Don't go sleep with other women if I'm trying to have a relationship with you.
And
Right,
it
I
which
want a
is what
relationship
society
with you,
says.
not you
Yeah.
and whoever else you want to have sex with.
And it should be never the first option, sorry, to cheat on. It would be the first, let's go, let's talk, let's ask for someone to help, and it's the last, it's not even an option to cheat. First, let's communicate, let's sit down, I think.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
absolutely. I agree. But that's where if you commit to a monogamous relationship, that's where the cheating aspect is. But if you communicate prior and agree to a non-monogamous relationship, then cheating isn't occurring
But
because
then
it's been discussed.
Is it a relationship?
It's
then?
it'll pretty much never work if it's open on the girl's side. But if you
Right.
I think it can
I
work if
actually
you bring
have,
girls into the relationship. If you bring a guy into the relationship, your husband's automatically a cuck. It's not going to work ever.
Based.
Yeah.